Hello everyone, this is Jennifer Kumar. I would like to share with you a case study. Now this case study has two main players. One is an IT consultant team in India and the other is a US client. Obviously with people working across cultures in a virtual environment, there are going to be cultural differences. I'm not really focusing on that for this case study. What I would like to focus on is where does the IT consultant team have leverage in a challenging conversation? What is the US client looking for in this relationship, and how can that kind of be used to create meaningful conversations where both parties feel good, especially when we have to tackle some difficult conversations like extending deadlines or adding resources to a project, or maybe adding a feature that the client didn't know about and you want to be able to convince them about that, or the opposite, convincing them of removing a feature and how that will actually still create a viable and successful end product. So how can you as an IT consultant team use that information from past projects to leverage current conversations, and how can you get into the mind of your client so that they understand that you know their business, and because of that, that's why you're proposing certain solutions. So it's not just your expertise in your software development skills, but it's also the understanding that you know their business, you know what they're trying to achieve by creating this product with your team. So here's the case study. The two main players are the IT consultant team in India and the US client. I never talked to the US client. So all of this discussion is based on my consulting with the IT consultant team in India and helping them create a communication strategy to extend the deadline of a launch of an e-commerce website. So that was the original intention, actually, which was to extend the launch date by 1 week or 5 business days of this e-commerce website. But however, after I sat down and brainstormed all of the details with them of this project, we realized we didn't need to extend the deadline, but we would need to do a little convincing on something. So the 3 elements we looked at here were, what were the things left to finish for this website launch? There were 3 tasks left to do. What were the timelines and time needed for each of these tasks, and the priority level? 2 was their the technical elements of the discussion, which I'm not going to get too much to at all on this in this case study, and also talking about their customers' business and their customers using the website, their understanding of that whole process. And that I will touch on. So like I said, the original intention was to launch this e-commerce website, let's say 5 business days or 1 week from the time of this call that they were going to have, let's say May 1st. But they wanted to extend that to say May 7th. But we actually realized that they could launch it on time, on May 1st. And this is how the conversation with the US client went. So, hi US client, we have some really good news. As you know, we've been kind of debating whether or not we can launch this website on time. We've had some technical challenges and some other challenges that we want to talk with you about on this call. And after reviewing and brainstorming all that, we actually realized, you know what, hey, we can deliver this. We can launch this on time for you on May 1st with the login page and the payment gateway done. What do you think? These were the two of the 3 things that needed to be done. So they knew the client would come back with, well, that sounds good, but we still need the product reviews. Where's that? And how can we possibly launch the website without that? Well, this is what the team in India said as a response to that. Yes, it's very important to have a review section. However, that was the thing that we've been having a challenge with. As you know, many of your products are new to the market. Even websites like Amazon don't have any reviews of these products, or they don't have these products on their website yet because they're new to the market. And other websites that sell products like this or sell these products already out there are also lacking reviews or good reviews or reviews that would make your website look good. We didn't want that kind of problem also. I mean, we can definitely share a report with you of what we found if you're wondering about that. As you know, 2 of our team members have been working diligently on that. And actually, that was something else we wanted to ask you about, is if, we could actually use, kind of move those 2 team members over to working on the payment gateway and the login page. That will really assure that we have enough resources and time and people on those 2 tasks to get that done by May 1st. And then after the launch date on May 1st, we'll move everyone over to working on that review section because it's a little more complicated. What do you think about that? The conversation went back and forth for a while, and of course, the U.S. client was quite worried about the testimonial section. So, and this also came from our brainstorming session. So at some point in that conversation, that IT consultant team came back with, yes, we still understand that you're very concerned about the product review section, and you would like, it would be ideal, obviously, to have that on the website with the launch. But also keep this in mind that, a lot of your customers who are going to purchase these products, we know they fall in the demographic of around, 30 to 35 years old, up all the way up to maybe 50 years old. So these are, mid-level career professionals. They tend to have busy lives. They work long hours. They probably have, 1 to 3 children. So they're busy after work, shuttling them to various sporting events and school activities and all of that kind of stuff. So because of that, even if they were to purchase something on day 1, let's say they went on the website on the launch date and they purchased something, because it is an e-commerce website, it's going to take 2 or 3 days for them to get that if they decide to go with priority shipping at the earliest. So they would get it, let's say, at the earliest by Thursday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday of that first week after the launch. Now, we know that they're busy, like we just said, so they probably won't even open it till the weekend. It will take some time for them to figure out how to put it together or where they're going to use it or how they're going to use it. So by all best estimates, that review could be written by Saturday or Sunday, which gives us plenty of time to get that review section coded and out the door with whatever modifications you would like. What do you think about that? So the client was actually pretty impressed with this, that, hey, here's this IT team that actually now they understand my business. They have something to say about how my customers are behaving, what they're doing and everything. So the U.S. client was duly impressed, but actually said, but we are worried about what will go into that section on each product page. What do you think we should put there? So they said, well, how about we talk about that offline? We could come up with some kind of disclaimer or some other wording, whatever you would like to put there in its place, until that that module is ready. What do you think about that? So the client was actually really happy with all of these ideas and solutions. So the client said, okay, yeah, we're happy with this. Let's launch it on May 1st, the original date, but with only the login page and the payment gateway, because obviously people need those 2 things to order anything online. Meanwhile, one of my team members over here, this is U.S. client talking, will reach out to one of you maybe tomorrow and have, a discussion for around an hour or so to kind of think of what we're going to put in as a placeholder where that review section is going to be. But I think this is a really good alternative. And I think we're pretty happy with this, so let's go with this. We're so happy that you took some time to think about this and understand the complexity of the project and also understand our customers' behavior. That really means a lot to us. So yeah, let's go ahead and extend what we need to extend, but still launch it on the original launch day of May 1st. So keep in mind that my brainstorming session with them actually took about 3 or 4 hours. And their call with the U.S. client took around an hour or so. So when you're not used to going through this process, it will obviously take some time. But then once you do it a few times, you start building up the skills to actually identify these points as you're going through a project, it will become easier and you won't need to spend so much lead time brainstorming and coming up with a communication strategy. So I hope you found this case study interesting, and I'd like to definitely use this as a base for coming up with your own case studies or ideas for communicating better with your client. Thanks for listening.